Okay, today's topic is manifestation. Funny. Let's talk about manifestation. Manifestation has been difficult on this planet because Earth is a very slow computer. If you're from space, if you're from the higher realms, you know that manifestation is instant. As soon as you align your will for something, it happens. And you have to learn sometimes how to manage that in the higher realms because things come at you very quickly, but you learn quickly because as soon as you think something, it's there, and you learn to manage your thoughts very easily. Thank you. But on Earth, you think a thought and then you go 8 months and then it happens and you're like, how is this related to anything that I did? And it takes a long time to learn that your energy is creating your reality because the delay is so dramatic that you don't associate your energy to your reality 8 months down the road. Well, lucky for us, Earth is getting lighter and lighter. You can think of it like a fluid, a very viscous fluid like honey. It's hard. If you drop something in honey, it's going to take a long time to sink down. If you drop something in water, it goes pretty quickly. So think about that as the energy of Earth. Earth used to be very viscous, very thick, very dense, very heavy, and your thoughts could not permeate that dense energy very easily. And when they did, it took a long time. And now, since the vibration of Earth is getting higher and higher, we're starting to see these instant manifestations happen a little quicker. I say the turnaround time right now is about 3 weeks. 3 to 6 weeks is the turnaround time for manifestation when you really do it correctly. And we're going to talk about how to do it correctly. So that's a relief to know, like, okay, if I want something in my life, I could have it in 3 to 6 weeks. For most things, that's true. Sometimes healing takes a longer time because healing is healing is a pattern, like illness is a pattern. And even sometimes if you have like a bad relationship, that's a pattern, and it can take a little bit longer for those things to work out. But if you're manifesting something like someone new in your life or a pair of shoes or anything like that, 3 to 6 weeks, we got it. And it's just going to keep getting faster. So what we need to do is start training our minds, and this is how we're going to do it. So I'm going to teach you guys how to manifest anything you want. I hope you're ready. The first thing we have to understand is the levels of reality. How does manifestation work within our current reality? Well, you have personal reality. Your reality is reality. Your personal reality is how you see and interpret and experience the world. If your eyes see the sky as purple, that's your reality. If you believe that you are going to be a doctor and you know it with your heart, that's your personal reality. Maybe physical reality doesn't show that yet. Maybe you haven't done all your classes. Maybe you haven't even enrolled in school. Maybe you haven't even told anybody. So no one around you knows that in your heart you know you're going to be a doctor, but in your personal reality you do. Okay, so personal reality doesn't depend on any other reality. You can have whatever personal reality you want in your head. And that's important to understand. At the same time, we're living in physical reality, which is the shared reality of physical matter. There are laws that discern the physical reality around us. So if you walk close to the edge of a cliff, no matter if you're thinking in your personal reality, oh, I'm going to fly, in physical reality, if you don't have the means by which to fly, you're simply going to fall. So we have to keep in mind the laws of physical reality. Third off, we have spiritual reality. Spiritual reality didn't used to exist in our description of reality for Unicult, but we most recently added it in the updated version of Fundamentals of Unicult. Spiritual reality is the same as physical reality because it has similar laws. There are certain spiritual laws that cannot be ignored. There needs to be certain spiritual actions that need to happen in order for things to happen in the spiritual realm. Just like the physical realm, if you are driving on a dirt road and you go off the road, well, that no matter if you believe you're on the road or not on the road, you're still off the road. And that's the same with spiritual reality. So when you're thinking, oh, my energy is aligned in spiritual reality, if it's not actually aligned, it has to actually be aligned. The way that spiritual reality is maybe hard to understand, but you have to just understand that there's upward spirals and there's downward spirals. And when you're listening to your heart and you're listening to whim and you're listening to love and you're listening to truth, you're going on an upward spiral. And if you're listening to fear, if you're listening to pain, if you're listening to anger, that's a downward spiral. That's the spirit, that's spiritual law. And when you go on an upward spiral, that's your true heart, that's happiness, that's joy, that's higher vibration. If you go on the downward spiral, then it's darker sadness, self-loathing, corruption, despair, illness, etc. So those are the rules in spiritual reality. We have to remember that. No matter how much we think, oh, I'm going to hack it this time and I'm going to be mean to somebody, but I'm going to get what I want in this way, or I'm not going to forgive this person, but I'm going to become an angel. You simply can't. It's just the same as saying if you don't have the means by which to fly in physical reality, you can't fly. If you don't have the right energy in spiritual reality, you can't ascend. Just laws. Okay, so we've got personal reality, physical reality, spiritual reality. We also have social reality. Social reality is the reality that we all live in, that we all agree on. Even though all of our personal realities are very different, we're all still watching this broadcast. We're all still here together, experiencing this. Even though we're experiencing it in different ways, we all have this social reality of this shared experience. Money is a great example of social reality. We all put our trust into money. We believe that money has value, and so money does have value. When we put all of our collective belief onto something, that gives it power. Your own personal belief onto something gives it power. When we get 2 people believing in something, 3 people believe in something, 4 people believing in something, that's compounded. It's exponential. So that's why groups of people are the most powerful force on the planet. Someone asks, what do you view as the most important reality? Your personal reality is probably the most important reality. Well, it's important to understand all the realities and how they're working. The most powerful reality is personal reality and personal reality combined. Physical reality is different than social reality in the sense that it has to do more with conception. So there's a big crossover with social reality and physical reality, where, yes, we all agree, here's a building and we can go into it and we can go out of it, and here's the floor and here's the wall. We all usually share the conception of physical reality in our social reality and in our personal reality. Physical reality is pretty strong, but social reality also deals with concepts. So concepts of things like gender, of things like who you are in society and how you progress in society and how you become, how you're seen, how we communicate. Those are all things that have to do with social reality. Okay, so understanding those different levels of reality can help you as you're manifesting, because manifestation needs to take place in every single realm. So if you have something that you're wanting to manifest, you can make a list of these different realities. Okay, what's my personal reality? What's the physical reality? What's the shared reality? What's the spiritual reality? Ultimate reality also exists, but that's not our concern for manifestation right now. So manifestation happens on every single level, and the energy of your consciousness is where it starts. Every single thing starts as an idea. So that's why personal reality, that's why I said it's the most important, because this is the place where everything comes from. Your interpretation of the world, everything comes into personal reality. That's our soul. That's actually our soul reality. So we interpret physical reality through our personal reality. We interpret spiritual reality through our personal reality. We interpret physical reality through our personal reality. I don't know if I already said that one, but that's how it is. So our personal reality is sort of there are glasses for how we're interpreting everything else. So that's the place where you have the most power to make a change in yourself and in the world. Truly, remember that. The closer you are to your own consciousness, the closer you are to God or the highest possible energy, the closer you are to channeling divinity, the closer you are to really making creative force happen. So, all things start as ideas. How to manifest? First, desire. Desire is holy. You have to desire it. If you don't desire it, you're never going to have it. Sometimes we think we want things and we really don't want them. Maybe you're thinking, I'm going to be a doctor. Well, maybe you don't want to be a doctor, really. Maybe you just, because of the social prestige and because your dad was a doctor and your mom was a doctor and your grandma was a doctor, you're like, I guess I'm going to be a doctor. But if you don't truly desire it, you're going to have blocks. It's the same with money. If you don't truly desire money, a lot of people view money as an evil tool. They see it as a corruption. They see it as something that just has fucked them over their whole life. And that's not true, because money itself is just an abstraction. It's just an energy. It's just a tool. But our society has created a really negative thing around money, and it's used it as a mechanism of control. It's an abomination when it comes to abundance, because it's a way of trying to control abundance, which is insane. Abundance is abundant. Abundance is everywhere. Abundance is flourishing. Abundance is life. So we should not have a restriction of wealth on our masses. It's toxic to the planet. It's toxic to every single person. We should have universal basic income and wealth redistribution. Anyway, people have this negative association with money. And so when they think of someone with a lot of money, they think these people are losers. They're evil. They're assholes. If I have a bunch of money, I'm going to become an asshole. People think, oh, power corrupts. I don't want any power. So we have these deep-seated beliefs that prevent us from truly actually desiring something. So you have to dig deep and ask yourself, why do I desire this? Do I truly desire it? And do I actually have a negative feeling about this where I don't want it? Am I actually repulsed by it? Am I actually thinking that if I get this thing, then I won't be who I want to be? What are you going to use, if it's money, what are you going to use the money for? Think it through. Plan out your manifestation with as much detail as possible. Desire. Now it's an idea. So you figured out your desire. Yes, I do want this. I want to be a rich person. I want to be so rich and I'm going to be so kind. At the same time, I'm not going to let power corrupt me. I'm going to just be my true self because I'm not an asshole. I know that. I'm a wonderful person and I'm so generous and I'm so kind, and I know that I'm worthy of this power and I know that I can control it in a divine way. Welcome to the portals are open. Portals are open o'clock. Desire taken care of. Okay, you got your desire. 2, ideas. Fully form the idea in your head. In the higher realms, when you conceptualize of something, it shows up exactly as you conceptualized of it. If you're thinking of like a bobcat, but you don't really know what a bobcat looks like, a bobcat that you don't really know what it looks like will show up. Here on Earth, luckily, we don't have that because we're not ready for that, because our brains have not been trained. If that were the case, Earth would be madness because of all the thought forms running wild in our heads. But Earth is starting to become that way, so we have to train our minds. We have to train our minds, which is partly to do with Telepathy Training Program Club. This will help you train your mind. Training your mind is about conceptualizing of things and visualizing them in the most clear possible way so that it can come to you, and understanding the reasons for every detail. So as we move into this higher way of manifestation, I've been working with my guides a lot on this. They have helped me understand that in the past, manifestation was more about moods and energies, and fundamentally it still is, but in the future, we're going to be able to have a more specific control over the things that we manifest. So in the past, you might say something like, I want a job that makes me feel secure. And that's pretty much all that you could ask of the universe. You couldn't make specific demands because the earth was just too dense and there weren't a lot of avenues open to that. But as we come into this higher way of being, you can say something more like, I want a job that gives me creative freedom, that makes me feel secure. Maybe you can even say for what company. Sometimes it's better to be less specific because it leaves open the more divine route. Sometimes our egos get in the way of the most divine thing happening. And if we get too attached to one specific outcome, we might be wrong about what that is and what that means. My Instagram video stopped. I'm going to restart it. Okay, I was saying that you need to, oh yeah, specifics. Okay, so if you don't want to have a certain thing in your life, you can make demands of the universe and of your own energy, and you can set boundaries. And that's really where we start. If you want a house in the countryside, yeah, you can start manifesting that. That's totally possible. So we can use that as an example. So first you have to think, do I really want a house in the countryside? Is this going to be your second house, or is it going to be only your only house? Are you going to actually, is there a part of you that doesn't want that because you might be lonely, because you might feel isolated? Or does your whole heart truly desire this reality? And if there's part of you that doesn't and that's holding back, maybe it's your second house. You know, maybe it's a place you can go to and it's maybe not your house. You know, it's about what you really want and what you really truly desire about the fully formed reality, and what parts of that reality are detrimental to you or benefiting you. So think about that. How does the house in the countryside benefit you? How will it harm you, if at all? Where is that aligning with your desire and with your ideas? Then you fully plan it out. Draw a picture of it. You want to draw a picture of the house in the countryside, print out pictures, go driving around the countryside, think about where you want to live, the actual idea of it. Plan out as many details as you want, but also don't be attached to them. And just know that the divinity will work for you in the highest possible way. So divinity will flow through your desire and your framework, your blueprint, into the best possible way. So you might get something that doesn't look exactly like you want, and that's okay, because a lot of times that's because of divinity working in the highest way. It's not always because you're not aligned or something like that. Okay, the next thing about manifestation, you've got your desire, you've got your idea, and now it's about energy. And when I was practicing witchcraft, it was about, thank you, Max, for signing up for Telepathy Club. So excited to have you. I'll send your telepathy training workbook, program club workbook tomorrow. So when I was practicing witchcraft is about manipulation of energy. And it's about setting your intention and creating a spell. And you're using words and you're using symbols and you're using magical tools to create a reality. And in witchcraft, you're building up a bunch of power and then you release it in a spell. And I used to think that was the most powerful way to accomplish things energetically, but it's not. The true way to accomplish things energetically, the best way, is to release a small amount of energy consistently over a long time. You can think of it like water dripping on a rock. You can pour a whole bunch of water on a rock, nothing happens. But if you drip water on a rock over a long period of time, it'll start to form, it'll actually change the rock. It'll form a divot. So we can think about energy in this way. You can actually do so much more, and you can actually release so much more energy over the course of a year if you're just consistently aligning your energy to your desires. And this is in every single moment. This is about consciously investigating your own consciousness and inventorying every single thought, every single feeling, every single association you have to everything. It's a little overwhelming, but we have to take responsibility for our own consciousness. If you have control over anything in this world, it's your own consciousness and your own emotional reality. Your own personal reality is your domain. That is your God-given earth. How you see the world through your eyes is your playground. Imagine yourself born today into this reality, and everything that you see is yours to work with and to understand. Spiritual law is that we're all one. So if you harm somebody in their reality, it's going to harm you in your reality too. You can't escape that. So when you think, oh, this world is my playground, I'm just going to screw a bunch of people over. Okay, you're just screwing yourself over. That's very boring. The more positive influence you can have in your world, this is all you. So all the energy you're reflecting out is just emanating first through your body, then out, then boomeranging back at you. You're just being saturated in your own energy all the time. It is your responsibility to take control of this energy. So when you align yourself, every thought, every moment, every breath, and it takes practice. It's not going to happen all at once. You have to practice for years. Years. Maybe not. Maybe you're really good at it. Took me years. Awareness of your every thought and action and breath and emotion, and align it with harmony. What is the most harmonious way to think about something? What is the most harmonious? And you have the compass inside of yourself for what that means. So when you are feeling about money and you're like, I need more money, analyze every thought you have about it. I feel entitled to money. I feel upset that I don't have more money. I feel my worth is tied to my money. I feel like money is a restrictor. I feel like, whatever your thoughts are, you can write them down. Writing can help you externalize your internal and see it all. So it's about analyzing every single thing and harmonizing it. Well, sometimes it's very difficult to harmonize your emotions. Sometimes it's very difficult to harmonize your negative understandings of reality because they have been so deeply programmed into your reality because of past experiences or because of society or because of whatever, your own anxiety. Well, there's a life hack here that you can use. If you're feeling insecure about your ability to bring in money or bring in your manifestations, if you're feeling insecure about manifesting your reality, then you say, I trust my higher self to provide me with all the abundance that I need, require, and want. Your higher self is your connection to source. Your higher self is that driving life force. It's the I am presence. It's the closest thing to source energy that you will ever feel. It's through our own consciousness that we experience everything, including the divine. And the divine experiences itself through us. So our highest self, our highest reality, is a creator. It is the creator of our world, and it has profound influence on every level of reality. So when you put your trust into your higher self to provide you with the things that you want, you're taking the pressure off of providing it yourself. You're allowing divinity to work through you in a way that is completely avoiding any kind of anxiety that may be hindering your energetic progress. So when we're talking about manifesting, especially with money, you have to just think about it like every time money is a great analogy, but this can work for any kind of manifestation. Every penny counts. And I mean that in the sense that how you feel about every single cent and every single dollar that you get and that you spend, how do you feel when you have to spend money? How do you feel when you get money? Do you feel like, oh, that's not enough? Nothing's right and nothing's wrong. It's just about analyzing it and then aligning yourself to the highest vibration harmoniously. And like I said, you alone have that compass in yourself. What is the highest vibration for you? No harm. We're all one. No fear or pain usually. It's just all love and light. And when you can find that, then you will manifest whatever you want. If you focus your energy for as often as you can for every day in a harmonious way, like I said, 3 weeks, you will have results. I also recommend prayer. Prayer is the same as putting your trust into the higher power. You align yourself at night or in the morning and you say, Spirit of Uni, or whoever you pray to, I pray to the Spirit of Uni. I say, Spirit of Uni, bless my bank account. Please bring me so much abundance that I feel secure. Please help me feel secure. Either feeling secure with very little or having a lot so I feel secure, whatever it is, that's the root of it. This is about feeling. It's not about numbers. It's not like, bring me $10 million. I need it. And then it's like, what do I need it for? And you try to map it all out. It's not about that. It's about your emotional reality being harmonious. To feel harmonious, need money to do the work of my true heart. And I don't feel harmonious if I'm not doing the work of my true heart. I feel discordant. And so I know that it's a divine thing for me to need money to do the work of my true heart. Find your harmony, what makes you feel less discordant, what makes you feel secure, what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel joyous, where are things that you want to share and be generous with. And I mean, I love to be generous. I want more money to be generous. I want to feel comfortable with generosity. I want to feel like I can provide things for my friends and family without feeling any negative emotions about stress or worry. So you can start to see these are ways that we can align our energy to the root understanding. And then every single dollar, every single detail, every time you come into your house, let's say you want to live in a country house. Well, look at your house right now. What aspects of it make you feel good or similar to a country house? You come in and you say, oh, well, what do I really want from a country house? I want privacy. I want seclusion. I want a little flower box by my window. Well, you can wake up on a Tuesday morning and you're like, oh, the neighborhood's so quiet. I feel like I'm in my country house. And you can get a little flower box for your apartment balcony, and you can say, oh, I have this part of it, So you can start to build it into your world right now and appreciate it and get on the resonance of that frequency. Introspector says sharing is hard. And I don't think sharing is hard if you have enough, right? If you have so much, well, what's the problem with sharing? You have more than you need. How you feel when you pay bills is important. What if we seized the means of production and fulfilled everyone's material needs regardless of financial concerns? I think at least we should have housing, food, water, at the very least. And a little bit of spending money, at the very least. Everyone should have that. The amount of stress that goes into rent and food is insane and toxic. It's toxic to the planet. Basic human rights. We deserve harmony. We can do this. It's not that hard.